Hello everyone, we're back. It's Evil Genius. Yes, we are eviling and geniusing here. And we're carrying on from where we left off. So you can see money is not ideal. Numbers not ideal yet. But they are slowly growing. And we're stealing money from everywhere because we're bastards. We want your money. Give us the money. Show me the money. Now, so you can see the freezers there. That keeps all the bodies. Now, what we're going to do is once this built, we're going to build a freezer room here behind this. Now, what this is going to do basically is essentially be our replacement freezer room. And what that's going to do, see, in an ideal world, in an ideal world, I want it to be one deeper like that, because then what we can do is we can put these in back to back like that, and therefore increase the capacity. And then we can put more, just a little bit of a gap there. And a little bit of a gap there. Like so. Actually, let's take that out. And let's put more. No. Put more in like that. There we go. So that's going to be our freezer room. But we're not going to worry about building it for the moment. Because we'll need a reasonable amount of money. Because obviously, all the rest of it. Plus, we've got this freezer room here. Now, what we could do is we could conceivably delete that bit, but it would require us to delete the entire room. But we needed somewhere to store the bodies for the time being. So, let's go and have a look at our money situation. See, 5,300 every 60 seconds. So, you know, I mean, we're not doing too bad, really. We don't have any sort of... And we're doing some missions. And we're doing the old funding our evil empire. Seeing how that goes. Now let's put another guy in there. So obviously we can't do the... We have to wait for the free guy every 60 seconds. Now we're going to put a lab there. When we can do research. Because that's where we're going to put the inflatable lab. So it can be easily stolen for our... missions. So you can see there, report, train civilians, capture and imprison the maid in the security holding cell. So we're not going to be doing that for the time being anyway, because we're using this opportunity to build up the money as quickly as we can. So there's our newly constructed freezer room, which will replace this room. We'll probably end up deleting that entire room temporarily, so that we can essentially rebuild it as a normal room. Now the only drawback with that is that will essentially lock everybody in here until such times as that room is rebuilt. But we needed to build it to have the freezer capacity to get the dead bodies out of the way. Now this is the agent containment room with the 5 cells ready for the agents when they arrive. So essentially until such times as they arrive, this will be powered off and that door will be locked. Now, the only drawback is if we want to build anything more in there, because what I like to do is build like a thing from the post office in the UK, where basically you have to go up, and then you have to go back, and then you have to go up, and then you have to go back. And if this mod allows us to build guns in this room, then we'll basically have the same format, but just loads of guns, so they immediately become incapacitated. If we can't do that, then basically anything that will slow them down to actually getting out is the situation that we want to achieve with respect to that super agent containment room. So, all the stuff that's white is being built and has been paid for. And you can see there's some things that have been dropped. And we have no idea what's in that object. But it's because I took one of these guys out. And essentially sent him off to go and steal money. Our friend there looks rather bored, understandably so. But this is, I suppose, to a certain degree, a slow point in the actual series where basically nothing's actually happening per se, because we're trying to establish a decent amount of funds. So you can see there, 6,000. Not really ideal. Now, we still don't have... You can see, there you go, the money coming out there. See what I mean? So we've got 5 in there, so they're going to be stealing all of that money really quickly. So we are in a situation where the funds are low, and that's why we can't get any more people. You know, we have the capacity of 194 men that we can have in our organisation. 99 is the maximum number of yellow minion standard workers that we can have. So there's nothing really we can actually do about it in that regard. So we are essentially just sort of twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the money to be built up, while we continue to build the base and establish the base in as best a way as we can. Now, I want that big corridor to be built quickly if we can, so let's get our girl.
I don't care how many men it takes.
And get that corridor built so that we've got immediate access around, and then they can start building the power. Even though each of these power things is like 8,000, we won't have the money to do it yet. But the point is we'll still be able to request that particular thing to be built. So where is it? Here we go. There we go. So now you can see the sparkles around it. Means that she's told her workers she wants this done as a priority. But because... This reminds me. Press F5. F5 quick save. Very helpful indeed, boys and girls. Very helpful indeed. Now, let's see. So there we go. That's now gone white, which means that a worker has been assigned to getting the explosives to build that now. That should be very helpful in our situation. Money still remains low. See, we've got a lot of people there. And we've got 5 there. We've only got 1 there. So let's put 1 in there. And another 1 in there. Now, ideally speaking, workers are not the best tea leaves for money. Well, actually, technically speaking, the guards are the best ones for stealing. And the scientists are the best ones for plotting. Or the equivalent of scientists. So, we haven't even made use of this area over here either. Or this area here. So, yeah, you can see now only going to be 5 of these boys left. So they're going to be working their balls off to try and get money for their wonderful, voluptuous evil genius. This girl here. Doesn't she look lovely? Not to be trifled with. Oh dear, let's get her out of there. Because you can see that explosion is going to probably damage her. But another pack of... Oh, hello.
Way ahead of you, darling.
There you go. Oh, there we go. And there's the corridor. That bit will probably get removed. We'll wait and see. But it's a big lot of explosions. Look at that. All the way round. Up through this corridor. All the way up. Until it's finally completed. And then they'll run in there and do the building that's required. And there you have it. Look at that. A corridor all the way around our new base. So now they'll go off and do the additional purchasing. See what I mean? Cannot afford the room. Like this one here. Or this one here. So, now off, level 3. So that's now built. We're not going to be using that for anything else, so we turn it off because then the power utilization is reduced. So you can see now we've got 10,000 in that regard, so that's not too bad. Ideally, we want to get to a situation where we've got enough troops to have 5 in every single location. And we don't even have anyone in the land of Oz, which is a shame. One of my favourite places in the entire world is Australia. I love that place. And I love the people there as well. Such a grand bunch of people. So, there we go. I mean, you can see it's not going too bad. We got the maid wandering around the place, looking for trouble, no doubt. Damn maids. See, there she is. She's wasting time. What kind of maid? Oh, maids today, eh? What can you do about it? Not much, apparently. So, let's see. We're not building that yet because we've already got the existing freezer room. This is the room that we want to build the power to build the rest of the base. That's the important stuff. Now, another thing we can do is the plan for the new barracks location is actually down here. You have to snip that bit off there, like so, and build it. Now, once we've built that, and we can then start moving assets here, down there, and then we can take that out and turn it into the Uber trap room, which will be advantageous for us. Now, let's see, because what we'll do is we'll take that out for the moment, because once they blow up this whole room, we'll move the power unit from here, which means there'll be a period of outage, bit of darkness, and then we'll move this room here, get rid of this room, probably give us a bit of money back. So, yeah, not too bad. Let's see. Do we have the break room yet? No, we don't. Freezer, power plant, control room. No, we don't have a break room ability to build there yet. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to build an armory here. Now, my reason for doing this is because that's where I want them to go to arm themselves for weapons. Now, it's just going to be predominantly like soldiers or guards and minions, because I want them all to be at yellow alert, so they're always carrying a pistol with them all the times. Otherwise, essentially, if you don't have them all at yellow alert all the time, then what happens is that they basically go in for a punch up and they probably won't survive. Whereas at least if they've got pistols and they're being shot at by 35 different minions at the same time, the chances of them surviving is a lot less. So that's the plan with respect to why we use yellow alert the way we do. So here comes the movement of the first power unit down there. And there's nobody to do it at the moment for obvious reasons. But you can see the money situation is slowly improving. The numbers situation is slowly improving. We're stealing nearly 10,000, I would say. So every single tick, 8,430 gets nicked, which I am extremely pleased about. But obviously, oh, we're not even nicking from here. So let's put 2 down there. Get them to steal from there as well. So before they even know what's been nicked, we've already nicked it. I suppose to a certain degree it's gaming the system, but you know, whatever. If it gives us a little bit of an advantage now to help us later on in the game, then you know, morally I'm okay with that. They're still building this room down the bottom here. Now let's see, there's nobody to do that, so let's get our girl. Oh, she's down here. and get her to force one of the minions to move that while we still can. Okay. So she'll sort that out. Get it moved down here. This will all be bought as soon as we can afford it. At the moment we can only afford the capacitors. We're building that room, so then we have an option for moving all this stuff here down the bottom. So we'll build them all with the, oh pardon me, sorry, down the bottom. And that's going to be definitely a better situation for us. Let's reset number 2 to be there. There we go. So we've made number 4. That one. Okay. So these guys, there won't be any priorities. They'll move them when they can. So I'm fine with that. I have no issues with that. As long as they actually move them, I'm perfectly happy. Whoops-a-daisy. There we go. That means that's actually been moved, which is fine. So the power will be back up probably in about the next 30 seconds. While one of our minions moves the power unit from one location to the other. Which is good. So that's where the bunks are going to go. We may not be able to get as many bunks in there as we've had in this room, but we'll see. We'll be able to put a couple of lockers in here. There we go. See, it's the 8,000 required for those power generators that's stinging us. Now, because we put them there, let's put one back there. There we go, so that they've got access to it. Because otherwise it'll be a problem for them. So we continue to move all this stuff here. Getting it into position. Whoops, I think we've moved one that's already been moved. Whoops, I think we did. So we just have to go up a little bit just to find the ones that haven't been moved. So all it is just a little bit of just moving around, and then we can turn that into the super agent containment room and have it built and ready to go for as soon as agents start turning up, which would be an advantageous situation for them. For us, I should say. Let's get that power plant room removed. Let's get our girl back into safety. Actually, no, let's put her here. So, let's see. Okay. So there's lots of moving that needs to be done. So we'll just let them get on with that for the time being. Now, money. 8,000. It's not too bad, really. Enough for a power station every minute. But that doesn't include... Oh, what's blocked? Oh, that, of course, yeah. Blocked because of... Yeah, okay. Not a major problem. See, look, there's a power station built. So our power situation there is pretty good. Let's just delete that. so they can build stuff. Now, there we go, that's that room. All important little armory. Now, let's see. We will be building a new control room just here. So, let's just get that sorted, shall we? Like that, so there we go. Now, what we're going to do is build like that. Like so. And then we build back, back. Now the only drawback I just realised is we've got to get rid of that because we didn't have a time clock in there. Now we do. So that will be our replacement control room. Not that our existing control room has done a lot, but you know, whatever. Control room people, I don't know. So, you can see 47 out of 99. The numbers are slowly creeping up. We got more people available here. There we go, let's immediately use those so that we can start generating more of the moolah, of the wonga, of the good stuff. We're not going to bother rebuilding that yet. Because also we'll put 2 doors in there as well. So that'll be fine. Which also reminds me, no, we don't have it yet, do we? We can't build food. That's where we'll build the food, along here. And then an infirmary we'll build sort of just up there as well. But we haven't got that far because we haven't actually captured the maid. So, yeah. That's pretty much where we are right now. Not really much else I can say about that except for waiting for these funds to increase, along with additional people to be dropped in there. Like that. See? But the trouble is, it means every person I send out there means that we get delays on the building and the movement. But, you know. See what I mean? At least we're okay for power at the moment. I mean, we could essentially just delete that for the moment. And that one, and that one. Because they can't buy them, they've already been bought because they're white, which means they're in the process of being delivered. So there's no point in us worrying about it, and we might as well just save the money while we can. There we go, there goes another power unit. Increasing our power. Lovely jubbly. There we go. Wow, 100 power? They used to be 30, I'm pretty sure. Never mind, we'll have an exuberance of power in the base, which is fine with me. And all of these still need to be moved, so let's continue this process. Now you can see what I did was I built corridor stuff here and then just built the barracks because I just want to delete this barracks. I don't want to delete this corridor arrangement here, because that's what's going to be needed when I build me Uber trap. That's going to go in there. See, blow them in there, blah, 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 round. So, all very spangly and sexy. Here we go. Bunks being put in. All very important for the snoozing. Now, I wonder. See, they're building that already. That's mad. Especially when they should be doing these things kind of quickly. But never mind. That's the only drawback in this game. You have no real control over the minions, aside from sort of motivating the others by killing one of them. But that's about it, really. You can't tell a particular minion to go to this location and do this job. Whether or not we'll have that possibility in Evil Genius 2, I don't know. I hope they do, so that you could set it so that certain minions can do certain jobs. So you can set it, okay, I want these minions to do building. I want these minions to do moving stuff. I want these minions to do other things. So I mean, you can control it in that regard, or, you know, I want to set this minion to do regular training or whatever. It would be nice. But, you know, nobody has any information on Rebellion's work so far with respect to Evil Genius 2, for obvious reasons, even though they're not that far away from where I live. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get some involvement with it, maybe. Don't know. We'll wait and see. So, that's good. Little pile of gold means we're starting to build up the money. Now, there we go. Look at this. 11,000 every single 60 seconds. So that means, because we've stopped building these, we're not really worried about anything else in that regard. They've got rid of that room because we now have more people available. Good. We're not going to build that room yet because we don't really use the information that we've got here that much. Now, Europe is always a good place for a lot of money, so we'll put more troops in there. 54 out of 99. So, you know, bear in mind most of our boys are out there stealing money. We're not doing too bad under the circumstances, I would say. But it is obviously taking time for all of this to occur. And you can see there all of this to occur. Because once we've done that, then we'll be in a position to delete that room. No point bringing the control unit up. Let's build this room. Because we're okay for power right now. We don't need any more for a little while. There she blows. Or there she blows. So, let's see. He's still poking his nose around there. To be honest, I think we might as well, pardon me, delete that room. Because it's not being used in any way. And it's just money that we can use elsewhere. So, let's see. More moving.
Object will be moved shortly.
And they're all done there. There's another one.
Object will be moved shortly.
If the forces of justice are causing you trouble, why not create some devious traps to deal with them?
Why not?
Remember, you're...
I will create my devious traps. You can see the start of my devious traps has already been created. I'm already way ahead of you, miss. Way ahead. So I think that concludes this week's episode of Evil Genius, Series 2.1. And I hope you boys and girls have enjoyed as we continue building and moving stuff. I mean, you know, moving stuff, the game, it's really exciting, isn't it? Anyway, we'll see you soon.